Okay, looks like we have a goal now set.
Yep, we're just about underway here.
All right.
Welcome to Stoop's Longhouse. Oh man.
Well, that's an interesting way to begin, but as I
this
always
is a
like
good
to say,
start.
bombs
Okay.
away.
So this is the Dark Magician Cross Jet Seed, as we already see. I think it was 1-3 in red, was it there?
Yep. 1-3 in red.
Eastern is 1, Tower of Hera is 3, and red is Desert Palace. Pendant Desert again, huh?
Yeah, it is a fantastic opening sequence, and they already got bombs to begin with. And that's a good sign, because no one likes to go back to escape, having to have to find gloves and return.
So now we just need to see the mirror as the second item here, right? And then, I don't know, Buzzsword as the third item? And then it will be the stupidest of jet starts?
Oh, yeah.
Aw, too bad. Going with the common option here of the most frequent item in the game. 28 red rupees in total. Out of supposedly 216 locations, so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised we'll be seeing a lot of those red rupees, though.
I mean, you want at least 50 rupees by the time you leave the castle, so getting a couple of red rupees is not the end of the world.
Oh, that's true.
At least so long as you've got bombs like they have here, you want to have the 50 coming out here, because then you get, if you get all of the blue rupees out of pots and whatnot during Kakariko, you'll get the other 50 that you need to get the 100 to buy the bottle fitness item.
Mm-hmm. That's always a good sign that you get enough money.
This really is the Dark Magician Cross Jet Seed right now, huh?
Well, yeah, when you see bombs and more bombs, you're thinking, like, okay, are they going to plan to bomb all the citizens of Hyrule now?
So, I mean, are we going to see that, or are we just going to see the regular use of bombs here? Always, oh, well, we already have the divergence here, one holding the sword out to the side, one to the top, you know? Clearly the most amazing of things here. This is something I should probably do instead of slashing the guy in the corner, because it makes a bit more sense to just slash in front of the chest, but nah. So these little things that you think about when you're looking at the races, and then you try and do it yourself, and it's like, oh, this is nowhere near as easy as I thought it was.
And both players were smart enough not to use their bomb, because sometimes muscle memory comes in play. You're thinking you got the blue boomerang already, and you just use it to grab the key.
Yeah, when that'd be more important for Ben as opposed to Willard here, who has to be really careful with this. Oh. Girl, don't die!
Yeah, don't die.
Please, thank you. Oh. There we go. So yeah, he was trying to save time by not killing the guard down the bottom, since he didn't actually go towards him at the beginning. Oh, Willard, what are you doing?
Oh, with half a heart, he's gotta be a little cautious about not getting bodied now.
Alright, so it's not really that big of a deal, because honestly speaking, the only thing that will actually touch you here before you can get to the next heal pot would be like a rat, I guess. I mean, not even that, because there's a heal pot before you get down to where the 3 green guards are, so you can get one from there instead. And it's a bit more in the way than here. So honestly, as much as I'm like, what are you doing? You might get hit here. It'd be a freak accident if he did, and it'd probably be his own fault. So it's not that bad. Yeah, the rune that Ben's just about to go in here. That's a bit of a quicker health pickup to get. So it's not as bad as it looks, really. It just you're always just stressed out for stuff that way, you know.
Mm-hmm. And yes, he did pick up the health, so it looks like he's in good shape again.
Yeah. I wouldn't be too surprised to see him pick up a pot just before the snake room as well, just to get the extra health from there, because those snakes do half a heart of damage, and it is very possible if you get really unlucky to get hit just by a couple of those on the way through, and then you're down at 2 rat hits, which are pretty unpredictable in their own right, so... Yeah, we see Ben is actually killing a few of them there as well. Maybe just predicting that they get bad RNG, as I was right with the popping there. Maybe just predicting that he would get screwed over by them. That's the worst place to see the map, because it's like one of the only chests that's actually out of your way to go and get. And so just seeing the map there is like, why did I even bother getting this thing? I guess being down in the sewers here, that is literal toilet paper too.
That's true. Or you can say they got hungry and got a burrito.
It has been called many a thing during this tournament.
And let's see what this room holds for us today.
So, hot piece, another red rupee, and another one. Okay, so before the red rupees there, this was going to be one of those seeds where I would say I'd consider going down the south side of Kakariko. Haven't actually done that in absolutely ages, but my usual criteria for that myself are more than 2 bombs, less than 50 rupees, and no bottle. Because if you've got that set up, then you might not be able to get the bottle vendor done if you're really unlucky with the stuff, and you might not be able to get the sick kid stuff done. So you'd be missing out on 2 items during Kakariko, and I have seen it, as rare as it might seem, I have seen it where Kakariko's had pretty much no money in it. So, you know, usually it's filled with progress items at that stage, or just heart pieces, because... But yeah.
And sub-hype here for 1 letter. Thank you so much.
Nice. So, nothing really going on at all in the escape there. I don't think there was a single remotely notable item, not even the fake notable items like the Kana Burner or the bug net, you know. Which I'm sure will drive some hate from some people, because how are you going to beat Argonym if you don't have the magic, you know, the magic of the bug net, right?
Let's see what Lumberjack gave us.
Oh, flippers! Wow. Okay, so that is required if Swamp Palace becomes required. Otherwise, actually no, because Fate flippers. So you might say, oh, it's needed for Ice Palace as well. But according to the logic, yes. According to our players, absolutely not, because you could Ice Palace.
That's true. He's definitely going to pick it up because rupee shortage in the beginning. It's nice to have some more rupees there for Ben.
And this is good if you need to buy more bombs as well. That's also possible, that you don't really want to leave Kakariko with just 1 or 2 bombs, because you need at least 2 for the South Shore if you do the Ice Rod Cave as well. You need 1 if you don't get boots to do the Sahasrara Hut. And you might need as many as 4 during the actual Kakariko stuff. You need 3 at the very least, but you might need 1 for the race too. Again, if you don't get boots. So.
And we just had 2 sub-hypes there, Mafia Guido and Yoko the Gamer. Thanks so much for subbing.
Nice. Yeah, there's so many tournaments and stuff that go on here. Like, there's a ton of work that goes into this particular. Like, even just seeing it from here, that's an interesting route from Willard there. I don't think I've ever. Have I seen that before? Maybe, I don't know. Like once, but I've never really seen that seriously used.
Oh, looks like a Ben paid the mushroom.
Meanwhile, we get Badger in the hut here. Interesting positioning. It's going to be pretty difficult to justify. Picking that up for a while, but we'll see.
What's going on here?
It's funny you were mentioning all the rupee shortages here, and suddenly we're looking at over 700 for.
Yeah, they're probably thinking we got plenty of rupees now for everything else. Definitely everything. They got that's enough for Zora, and I think that's everything. That's all the rupees they need for the entire rest of the way.
In the no major glitches stuff, that would be enough for absolutely everything you need in the game, even if you go and do get silver arrows as well. Nice blue potion too, that's really good.
Yeah, blue goo just helps out. It takes care of the sick boy now.
Yep, not only power. That's kind of funny actually, because it is denoted in game as a cure-all medicine in the English version at very least. It is called cure-all medicine in this game, so it'd be kind of funny that it actually is something you could cure him with. But at the same time, oh, nice chicken clip, good stuff.
Oh yeah.
At the same time, it's it's a B there as well, of course. Not only is it a bottle to take care of the sick kid, but it's also a blue potion that's very handy during the run itself. So, very good.
Yeah. I think in terms of rupees, they're pretty much well covered, majority-wise.
So not only did Willard not go for the chicken clip there, but he also got hit by his own bomb. And under green mail, that's actually pretty painful. You do take a fall.
Oh! Isn't that the item Willard called for?
This is why he's sick, because he overdosed on butter, obviously.
Yeah, I can't believe it's not butter for sure.
Either that, or he just saw the shiny sword and tried to fight evil by himself, and that kind of didn't work out. That's also possible. Yeah, Ben is not gonna like seeing that so early here. Because, as Ben told me in the interview last time I was in with him, he actually prefers to see the sword be later on because he is perfectly good at doing everything with the low-level swords, so he doesn't feel like it gives him an advantage like I actually thought it might, you know? Because I figured it would be a case of the fast get faster with that, but then I guess if you're looking at it from, say, doing Master Sword Argus or Cold Stare or something, then the higher skill player would probably get more out of that situation.
That's true.
So, no particular deviations at the moment. This is the default route that everybody that isn't Amazing Arm Throwers takes, so that's perfectly fine. Nothing massively special yet, though. Like, the gold sword is super nice, but at the same time, it's not exactly that special, because all it does is kill things quicker. And of course, as soon as I say we don't have any major deviations here, Willard is going to go ahead and take care of the mushroom here.
Oh, yeah.
In this version of the logic, it is relatively favorable, because it is an item that unlocks another item.
Oh, the bow!
Man, you're gonna have to wring that drawstring out real nice in order to make good use of that bow now. It's been sitting in that pool for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Still, very good play. We know that Easton is a crystal, so that means that it's very easy to just go there pretty quick and take care of that as you take care of Sahasrahla. Oh, just an arrow boost this time for Willard. So where's he gonna go now? Is he gonna Fate Flipper here?
He might.
Because
Yeah,
that
looks like he is.
that teleporter would actually take him down to... Oh, nice half magic too.
And
And
he did
Silver's,
do
wow, what a
Yep.
cave this is. Yeah, this teleporter takes him down to the dam area. So now he'll be able to use this and just check the bit before. It's really nice ridding, actually.
Yep.
Not particularly common. I think it's mostly Kenny that I've seen that from. Not very many people take that one, so
Yeah.
excellent to see.
He could have done it the other way, too. It would have saved him some time if he initially went through the Whirlpool as well.
Perhaps, although I feel like he might not have... Oh, wow, Ben's actually taking the thing, taking the plunger, going up to Zora. Very interesting early routes here.
This is definitely an interesting route. Oh, good thing Ben jumped out without getting hit there.
I think, by the way he was moving with that, he must have taken that damage boost intentionally. Alright, so it's good to see that the flippers are not required to get all the good stuff here, if there is any good stuff.
Oh, that's true.
Willard is just taking a good look at the map there, seeing, right, it is, yeah, 1-3, was it green actually, the pendant there?
I don't believe it was green, though. Was it?
Yeah, because that's what I was saying, was that green a desert there? I didn't really get a particularly good look at Ben's map, admittedly, because he cancelled it in like half a second. Okay.
Hey, it was green. Oh, we'll be sure.
Oh my goodness. Luna Orb for sale again. Wow. That... Yikes.
Oh my god. Really?
That's nasty.
Yeah, this cave, and now with that
I didn't
item.
even see the hook shot in this cave either. That's also really crazy. Man. This is what happens when you have two very different routes at the beginning and you're trying to explain the merits of one while saying, oh my goodness, hype in the other cave.
Yeah, well, right now we can say that the flipper was definitely something you would need if you didn't want a sequence break to get it. Yeah.
Yes, this is true. I mean, we could see a glove here and that would actually lead to the same situation.
There's that glove.
There we go.
There you go.
Did I not call that? Okay, so that's pretty good. So that would actually lead up to Zora. Zora would now give you the Moon Pearl. It is so bad, but at the same time, it is so necessary.
It is, yeah. And with that glove, he can have access to the east side of Death Mountain.
So Willard just going ahead and checking the Ice Rock Cave here. This is something I've always done, even before the new logic, where it's more likely to have something. I always checked it anyway, because it's one of those locations that's very easy to forget about, and it can be the gatekeeper. It's just really annoying to come back down here. So always worth checking, in my opinion, even if it does cost about a minute or so to do.
Yeah. And so far, we don't have an access way to Dark World yet. So without the hammer or a Titan's Mitt,
that's
still
gotta be lame. It's not the right cane. Not exactly going to try and make that a thing, but it's just funny because I suggested that to Rio at one point, and that's what he should say about that. Obviously, he has his own. It's great. Alright, what is the other sequence break going to yield here with the hobo? This is something Ben didn't check.
That's true. Let's see what the hobo check will give us today.
This yields Titan's Mitt.
Oh man. Arrows.
But I think Willard has got a potential setup for this. There is a way that you can get.
He did it.
There
he
you
did
go.
it.
There is a way you can get Fate Flippers out of there. I might want to check up on that, but at the same time, nowadays with a soft lock reintroduced, I might not want to bother. But yeah, the setup there lets you Fate Flippers back out of here. So he's gonna now go into East. He's not going to go Zora just now. That's okay, because that'll be another sequence break in in his mind right now. And having all the stuff to do Eastern here, this is still perfectly fine.
I agree. And he's going to pick up his gloves too, probably on his way.
Yes. And that might lead him to go, oh wait, now Zora is an option. Let's maybe go there. We have all the monies, so...
That's one thing, but also I think he might just go to Death Mountain because there's a lot more chests that he can look up there.
Yeah, it'll be unfortunate if Titan's Mitt ends up being up there in that case, because that'll stop him from being able to do the Dark World side as well.
That's true.
But yeah, you might be right on that. So far, nothing particularly good out of Easton that I've seen at the very least.
Nothing surprising. He does have that big key, though.
Yeah. There was only 20 rupees in the big chest, unfortunately. But... Oh, and the gamble, if you will, did pay off here. We have seen the odd race where players have taken the risk that this chest has had nothing, and then it has had the last item in the dungeon, and it was required. I think maybe one of those was Ice Rod, actually. That usually would be the trolliest item you could put there.
And looks like Willard's making use of the hook shot to navigate through this place.
Yeah, the hook shot is really nice for this dungeon. There's 4 places, I guess, in total you could use it. The beginning room, you can use it pretty well. The room where the compass, I think, would normally be, that you've got to go up the top and around, you can use the hook shot to go through there. You can use it once in, if you're lucky enough, you can use it in the dark room that you need the small key from if the Stalfos don't get in the way. And you can use it in the room just after the invisible Stalfos that appear in order to get to the chest there quicker as well. So, a surprising amount of utility for an item you're not supposed to have by now. Speaking of items you're not supposed to have by now, look at that silver arrow set. Man, just destroyed that fight. Always satisfying to be able to do that.
Only takes 6. And we got our first crystal.
Yep.
There's still one more strat that I like using hookshot for. Right after you finish the original vanilla big key, you can actually hookshot to the sign.
Oh, right, okay.
And that's something that a lot of people are not aware of, but this sign right here that we're seeing on the screen, you can actually hookshot to that Tesla sign.
I am learning today. Okay. That's really cool, actually, because you wouldn't think that you could. Is that the only sign of its kind that way that you can do it for, or can you hookshot to all of them?
You can hookshot to any of that kind of sign. Yes. Oh, looks like Willard's making the gamble. I think he didn't go down to the bottom.
No, he did not. He got some arrows and then decided, no, I ain't going that way, which is going to be good for him. That'll save some time over what Ben did. So, in that case, then, are there any other places in the game where you could actually make use of that? Because I will admit, I'm not particularly knowledgeable on where all of the telepathy tiles are.
I don't really think there isn't that many in the game where you can actually use it in that extent, though.
Yeah, because unfortunately, the one in Spectacle Rock, those are very red shoes, which are very, very helpful right now.
Ooh, heading to Death Mountain is going to be a really good play then.
And this is also quite interesting from Ben, not going to check out the top here, just going straight over to the east side. I can understand that. You only really get the chance at one item and then the chance to scout another one. But I guess when you've got the boots and the hookshot, you can do the really fast walk up the staircase. So, I don't know. Both plays are pretty good. And if he gets the hammer, this works out really nicely, because then he can actually get to the top of Death Mountain as well.
Yeah. I'd say also, if he chooses to go this side and he doesn't get anything useful, he can just save and quit and do the other side.
This is true. So the reason I go the other way around, other than just scouting the item, is because if I do it that way around, then I can just drop off the ledge at the top and then come down to the east side. So I get the information and then I drop down rather than having to, say, save quit and then go back up the other way. Meanwhile, Bombos is the only good thing in this 5 item set, but that's still a pretty good thing, so...
Line up for this bomb jump. I think he's got it.
It's pretty good. Yep, there we go. Just plant yourself in the corner, set the bomb to the right, and do not move. Thank you for teaching me that one.
This will be great. It looks like Old Man Love is going to come through today for Willard as well. As you can see, he's going to pick up some exciting boots still, too.
Yeah. I mean, if you try and dash with the old man, he can't keep up, so he forces you to slow down. So I guess he's a tired old guy. His boots aren't going to see much use anymore, so pass them on to the younger generation. Make far more use of them during this run.
And here we go. He's going to be like, just what I needed.
Oh, and there's the flute. Very interesting. So which way around is Willard going to do this? He is going to do what I would do here. Okay. Yep, and then as you see, he started the dash again, so that he's not managed to quite get the trait. It's a really tricky one to do that, actually, because of the way you have to hold the controller. Ben's going to do this now, like you mentioned, so... So, yeah, it's tricky, because you've got to hold the sword out, and then you have to basically do the item dash with the hookshot whilst you're holding the sword out here. Apparently this was something useful, which I didn't quite see. And that's why it's useful. So this is the problem, like I was sort of mentioning this, and that is I just noticed that is a horrific place to put that telepathy tile. Since you just mentioned the whole hookshot stuff, you can't hookshot to that tile because it's blocked by the item that stops the hookshot. That's horrible. So okay, so 2 points here. Had Ben done this the first time round, he wouldn't have had to do the 2 save quits, and he would have been able to go Dark World side immediately. Had Willard done Zora before doing this, he would have been able to do all of Death Mountain in one shot, pretty much. So, unfortunate on both sides. I don't actually think I would have gone Zora so early at the moment myself, just because of not having flippers or, the gloves at the time. It's very easy when you sequence break to end up going off track.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, Todorok is 6. That's about all I saw.
I thought Skull Woods was 4.
I think Ice Palace was a crystal.
Meyer was a red pendant, and Ice Palace was the blue pendant, so Desert Palace definitely is the green pendant.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that means everything else was a crystal. Meyer was the pendant, and then Ice Palace was a pendant.
Blue mail for Ben here, as we're about to see Willard pick up the Bombos tablet. Medallion. It's not a tablet at this stage, but, it could be if you think about it hard enough. There's no book, so that would be quite interesting, actually, for Aoife and yeah, interesting. Actually, I know it's a random aside here, kind of flitting around. Aoife was needed for that, so we don't have Aoife that. Interesting that Ben would actually pick the rock up before checking the other rock thing there, because you could have hookshot it back to that rock.
That's true.
I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever, really, but it just more annoying. Nice lamp placement.
And fire rod.
Fire rod. Wow, so all the fire sources in the hookshot game, which Willard can't do because he doesn't have the moon pearl from Zora yet. Ouch.
Ow. And those fire sources definitely needed. You have to do Skull Woods this time, so fire rod, and you need it for Turtle Rock too.
Yep. So this is going to prompt Willard to go back and do the bird call here, whereas Ben is... I mean, I don't know if Willard's going to do this first, actually. He totally could. Checking King's Tomb on the way out seems pretty reasonable. Nothing much for it this time, but that's okay. Yeah. It's a pretty decent time to... I mean, you don't have the mirror at the moment, so there's no way, even when you get into Dark World... Nice spin speed trick there, by the way. I saw that first from Christos. I don't know how many others have done it in the tournament like before that, but or if anyone. It's a really nice thing to do.
And those flippers now, knowing that Swamp Palace is definitely a crystal, or it's definitely required now.
Yeah.
Aghanim is absolutely required. Even though it's they do have access to the Dark World, they have to get those flippers now.
Yep. But that's the sort of thing you can put off until later on without really worrying too much. I mean, you have all of the, especially Ben now, has all of the power tools that you would want to do such a thing. So really it depends on when he wants to trigger Light World 2, really. When he wants to prot the... I mean, you've done Eastern Palace, so the most annoying part of the second Light World, if you will, is already done. So it depends on when you want to make a play on Swamp, if you want the items out.
And look, we're kind of synced right now with Swamp.
Yeah, the bird calls are happening in June. Just like in real life. They're always tweeting at each other from across the trees. This time it's just across different people's games. But that works too.
And this was good of Ben to put off because he just quickly flies over to 2 to turn in his mushroom and returns.
Meanwhile, Willard looks like he's going to see what is around in Agatha's cave here, as is Ben. Interesting stuff. So, neither of them can get into Desert Palace right now. There is no book and there is no mirror, but it's still worth seeing what is on that ledge. And this is a spot which is very easy to forget because it's usually quite low impact in this version of the randomizer. It's much better nowadays. And we see, just another thing here. No book in here like it was in Christos' face.
They both had the same thoughts there.
So Willard is going to make the play on Aga now, which is perfectly fine. You've got silver arrows and you've got the gold sword. Ben's going to delay it a little bit more, which is also perfectly fine. Going to check out Misery Maya stuff here. You can't check the checkerboard cave, but you can check the 2 items next to Maya. Plus, it's good to see, is that
it's also Aoife.
Right,
wow.
Okay, so it's good to see, because that means that Aoife cannot be in Misery Mire itself now. So there is a little bit of information that gets scouted from that. It also means that Aoife cannot be at the pedestal, and right now these guys can't check the pedestal because they don't have the book. So it's useful information to have, even if you're not planning on entering Misery Mire ever.
Yes.
And it looks like Ben is also now going to take the Aghanim play. I do not mind this at all. I mean, Light World 2 is annoying when you still have to do Eastern or when you don't have a particularly good sword. But with the gold sword, everything dies in one hit anyway. So the most annoyance that you get is to the right of Tower of Terror in that that one bit on the mountain where or just under Spectacle Rock and whatnot, where the Tektite's get in the way. That's about as annoying as the Light World 2 will get here. With the Pegasus Boots and the Gold Sword, you just ignore everything else, really. So.
Oh man, and the Silver Arrows helps out so quickly.
Yes. The 3 best items you can have here are Tempered or Gold Sword, preferably Gold, of course, but Tempered or Gold Sword, Silver Arrows, and Fire Rod in that general order. Because the Gold Sword will kill everything in one hit, as well as making a fantastic job demonstrating here. The Silver Arrows will also kill everything in one hit, but they're generally slightly slower because they've got to fire and you've got to make sure you don't miss. And then the Fire Rod is the 3rd best because it will kill everything in one hit, but it also sets them on fire and makes them take longer to die. So it's a bit slower, but it still kills them in one hit, so that's also good. Regular bow could be quite nice as well if you don't have the Tempered Sword, or better, Tempered Sword kills everything in one spin, so, you know, slightly slower again. But the regular bow can 2-shot the Red Guards, even though they would take 3 hits on the Master Sword, which is usually what damage the bow does, so it's always interesting seeing the differences here.
Mm-hmm. Now with Quarter Magic, you can spare no expense on Fire Rodding.
Yeah, Quarter Magic Fire Rod is the single greatest thing in this entire game, in my humble opinion. So, you know. Oh, nice pick up with a hookshot there. The hookshot can't actually go through the fence bit there, but if the key is overlapping with it, then it can pick it up. So, yeah. Very good. And then the hookshot, as opposed to the boomerang here, wouldn't trigger the... would it trigger the alert box of the guy? Like the alert hitbox? I think it would, wouldn't it?
I think it would still. I think it would.
Seeing Ben setting up the dash here. This is something you can do with vanilla with the text arrow as well, actually. If you hold the Pegasus Boost dash down and then basically are holding A when the text ends, then you can actually continue the dash uninterrupted. So you see his dash went off way quicker than if he set it up from a standstill. I like Willard's spin there. I've started doing that now as well. It's cute. So the only real strategy for Aghanim here is to try and get him back towards the center with your attacks. Oh, just a red rupee.
Oh.
I mean, we know it couldn't be Moonpearl anyway, but it's just it's annoying considering how high value that location normally is in version 18 to see the just be nothing there. So I think Willard is now going to make that play to Zora. This looks like the Fate Flipper setup for this here.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
I forget, is there more enemies around the Ice Rod Cave when you killed Aghanim? Like, is there different enemies there? I don't remember, because I know there's different enemies in weird places, and like in the race game there's guards, and I have no idea why you would put guards there, but you know. But
not for Zora's domain.
No.
It's still fine. Yeah, it's still gonna be the mini Zoras. Yep. Oh, looks like Ben's gonna make a play for Catfish.
This is pretty neat. It's a really far out of the way location. You never want to come back here, as well as having a little bit of trouble getting through the stuff here. Yeah, you never want to actually come back to this location. The only other chain that you could possibly have for this is doing the North Darkworld stuff, but having already checked the Cape Cave and the Sank Rubble Pile, that's Cape Grave, even the King's Tomb, you don't really want to do that way around for it. There is the Moonpearl for Willard.
Mm-hmm. And that's good. He finally has more options. Oh, it's a net! He does not want the net. So there's a net loss right there on Ben's side.
That's good. That's good. That pun would have been bugging you for a while if you didn't let it loose. The track is just blinking it there. That's good. I like it. Yeah, so with the hookshot, you just get across here. And this is one of the less conventional routes around the world that you can take. I actually have no idea why you would even put this route in, but it just is a testament to how well designed this world is, just how many different variations of routes that you can take.
Mm-hmm. We'll see what Bumper Cave is gonna hold for us today. Even though they don't have the cape yet, it's just good to have that intel if it's anything.
Yep.
Oh, it's just bombs. Okay.
And Ben can now do Skull Woods from this location too, and it wouldn't really cost him that much time.
I would
Of course, it would mean that he has a loose pedestal jet later, but the pedestal is only required in, what, about 3% of seeds in this logic? It's was very slightly higher nowadays. I don't know about the newest version, but it was very, very unlikely. So even though, we'd say, oh, there's no good time to check the pedestal now, it probably doesn't.
Well, it looks like Swamp Palace was number 5.
Okay, that's a really good location for Crystal 5, but the sheer fact that Turtle Rock is Crystal 6 pretty much nullifies any use for the Pyramid Fairy here, I think.
Yeah, and you know that Hammer won't be has anything to do with Turtle Rock either.
Yeah, so what are we missing here then? Is it just Hammer, Ice Rod, and Samaria?
Yeah, looks like that's it.
And
Ether. You have to have Ether to get into Turtle Rock.
Right, okay, and then you need the mirror for Swamp Palace. So, 5 items.
Yeah, we got quite a few items still.
Yeah, that's often surprisingly high for heroes.
But we just, speaking of mirror, found the mirror in Village of Outcasts.
That's really good. That is a really good location for it, too. I have actually had one seed before.
And
nice book too. Wow. The Thieves' Handbook, I suppose. I have actually had one seed before where I've had the mirror in the sea house and then Blind had the flute, which was really fun. So it's just, immediately get the flute and then it's like, oh, by the way, here's the mirror. Go activate the flute then.
Now it's gonna be interesting because Willard now has the ability to check the. Oh, there's the red cane. It's gotta be Cane.
How nasty is that location? It is in the spot where you would want, and you're gonna have to just get to, I think, right? That is in the spot that you would ideally want to use Samaria to get to. And the chat goes, yep.
Of course.
God, it's gotta be Cane. Always good. Ryu, love you lots. Alright, so that significantly cuts down on the items we still need.
That's true, but the thing is, I don't know if Willard's gonna check Skull Woods like he would because he doesn't have the fire rod.
Yeah, it's a tough one to say. On the one hand, it's not a particularly slow place to go and check, but at the same time, it's a case of, well, why would I want to do that right now?
Exactly. If you can't finish the dungeon, why would you bother going there?
But on the other side of that, if he was to go and check it, there is a decent reason to, because you could mirror check the pedestal just in case, and then, it could still be the ice rod. We haven't found that yet. And then you can then flute up to somewhere else you want to go, like Death Mountain, to check out all the stuff along there.
Yeah, that's true. Ice rod is that one item that it can just about be anywhere.
So, yeah, with Ice Palace being a pendant here, which I didn't quite catch this time, apparently Ice Palace is the other pendant. That basically means the hammer can't be on the pedestal, so we'd really be only looking at Ice Rod here, as far as items that are required. Meanwhile, because Ben does not have the mirror, he cannot do anything else in the Skull Woods area, so after just decimating Mothula there, like before I could even get to it, just destroying Moth, having to now save quit and go backwards here. Good time to pick up the flippers. You know that we're not going to be coming back up for Bumper Cave anytime, so it's a good time just to pick it up whilst you're here.
Yeah, and it looks like Willard's going to finish up Thieves Town. The only thing that's trolly is we're not really sure if that hammer is going to come and play later on if they have to come back to the big chest.
Yeah, it'd be pretty unfortunate if it did. Because, yeah, small key being right outside there. I have not been looking enough to see where map and compass were in this dungeon, so...
And looks like Ben is finishing off the overworld stuff that Willard has already completed, because generally when people get the flute and the boots, this is when they check this place.
Oh yeah. So now we just get to see how Willard's blind run of this game goes. I love blind puns. Like, there's not enough of them in this version because there were more added after this, but some of them had to get taken out because they were 2 text boxes long instead of 1, so just to keep it fair for everyone, now all of blind puns are 1 text box no matter what. But I love them nonetheless.
And a little bit of sub hype for Saku for finally subbing. Thank you so much, Saku.
Yo, nice. Alright, so Ben never checked what was on island here, which is just a piece of hut, as we saw from Willard before, and now it is a case of hobo. The one nice thing for Ben here checking hobo is that he can come back out and flute away because of having the flippers here. So this is a really nice, quick place in to look here, in comparison to what it was for Willard, who had to swim all the way back out again if he wanted to check other stuff.
Alright. Oh, the shovel! That's actually pretty good because you can just mirror your way out and take care of 2 spots at once.
Yep. And this is a case where you could make an argument for taking the purple chest around the world here because you've got the book to check the Bombos tablet. So even though you've got flute and, you know, stuff like that, now this is a case where you could make an argument for that. Going, oh, let's just take the book, the chest all the way around, and I'll be able to take care of that at the end of it all.
And some sub hype here for Nader77.
Awesome. It's really nice seeing so many people subbing that now, and there is our mirror for Ben. Fantastic stuff. What a place to have it, though, in the chess game. Like,
oh, I know. It's like one of the least likely positions you would think they would hide a mirror.
Yeah, and it's like, imagine if it was... Oh, what was that?
The Smiths had the cape.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know they were in the tailoring industry, but, you know, it's pretty nice. Yeah, so imagine if there was still the same RNG as there was originally in the chess game. It's like any 2 chests, and then one of them might have the piece of heart, but you might have to do it multiple times. And it's just like, the mirror is here. I don't know that it's here, but, you know, I don't know what the item is. I have to keep going. Well, I don't think we saw the digging game from Willard, did we?
I don't believe so either. And Ben didn't check the C-Shape house to get his book yet either, so...
No, the book was in Thieves Town. This, my house only had a rupee. A single rupee. One of the validation kind, if you will.
And we might see him complete the full Village of Outcasts here on his way with the Frog Tour, I guess.
Yeah. The only thing that would be missing at the moment is pegs.
Yep.
Which is a bit of an annoyance, but... Yeah, so this is one case where a lot of the times you would just leave the purple chest down the bottom. I've actually made this mistake relatively recently as well, where I've left the purple chest down the bottom and then mirrored to get the shovel spot. But then if you mirror, you lose the purple chest. So it's like, oh, now I have to go around again. Thankfully I had the flute, so it wasn't too big of a deal, but it's like, yeah, I just kind of really lost my track here. You know, I was going for the same thing as what Willard was doing here, but I left the purple chest in the dark world when I went to get the shovel spot. So, yeah. Here's a neat play that I've seen some people do, is go in now to the hype cave, just ignoring the purple chest there, come back for it afterwards, and then take it down, and do Bombo's purple chest stuff.
Mm-hmm. Because then you can, there's the red mail. And can we get some hype for Hype Cave here? And there's the hammer!
Nice! That is a good place for the hammer, too. Something like the hammer being there really makes you feel justified when you do this whole loop around thing. You know? Yeah, there's the other advantage for doing this instead of fluting, actually, is because without the hammer, you're not able to use the warp point, which is at the top of that screen there. So you'd have a much harder time coming around to get Bombos. And if Bombos had the hammer, and I've seen it a few times before, been in a couple of races where it's been there too, if Bombos has the hammer, then you have to go the long way around anyway, so... Speaking of, an interesting way around from Willard here, actually. He's going to do the Bomb Burst Tablet first, and then do Purple Chest. Most likely because he'll want to flute away from here. Just Bomb Burst this time. Too bad. Actually, interesting. Like, was there you can drop off the hill on the other side, right?
Yeah, that's true. You could.
Interesting that he decided to do it this way around then.
He has no bombs.
Whoa!
He does not have bombs to check High Cave.
How did that happen?
I have no clue.
That means he's gonna have to spend 30 rupees to get some bombs out of the shop here.
Yes, that's true.
What a rip-off this is as well, actually. Oh no, it's... Wait, what? I thought there was only 10, like, 3 bombs you got, but it completely filled him up. Is that only for 30 rupees?
Yep.
For real? That's ridiculous. I was about to say it's like a super rip-off thing, because I thought it was only 3 bombs for the 30 there, when it would be 50 for 10 in the light world, but... Oh, it's 100 rupees for 30, okay. That makes more sense. 100
rupees for 30.
That makes more sense. You can tell that I have literally never ever bought bombs off of that guy. Like, I'm pretty sure I have absolutely never bought bombs off of that guy.
And I'm pretty sure Ben felt it was well invested.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Also, delete those stupid skull things from the game already. Jeez, I will say that every time just out of jest, but you're just minding your own business, dashing through the world, and then suddenly, bang, skull in the face, and then you're interrupted, and you know, it's really annoying when that happens twice in the same patch, and I have had that happen before. It just really. Yeah, nice gamble from Willard actually going into Desert Palace. He can't finish this though, and we know he can't finish this because we know where Lamp and Fire Rod are. But so where is Ben off to now then?
Good question. I think he might go to Swamp House if he's going back this way.
Yeah, he's second guessing where he wants to go here, and yep, looks like it is going to be Swamp. Not a bad idea.
Yeah. He could have done Pod as well. Either way, I think it's you know, Pod is the one where I might have done because my thinking is if I can do a full clear of Pod, I'm gonna have to most likely because that big key I'm gonna have to find. Right. With Swamp, I would just be able to, if I had a fast way to do it, it's much easier to do a go mode Swamp.
Right, that seems reasonable. Just a red rupee in the big chest here. Doesn't look like there was anything useful in Desert here. But Willard still got Checkerboard Cave to check, and that is something Ben has not done because no mirror at the time.
Yeah, and I wouldn't blame Ben's choice either because they're still searching for multiple items. Swamp Palace is a big place though with lots of items as well.
Yeah, that's true. Ether and Ice Rod is what Ben
and there's Ether!
Oh, that is good. Because this feels like it would be a low priority place for Ben to come back to, because Maya is a pendant and also needs Ether, and Checkerboard Cave is the only thing in the area that he would get. I might be proven wrong if Ben decides to gamble on Desert though. That is one, because Desert's green pendant. That is one thing that could maybe trip that up, but other than that, that is a relatively low priority place to return to.
And we could also see what Ether Tablet might hold, because I think that's where Willard's going.
Yep. Also, Tower of Hera is a crystal, so he might see if he can do it just now. And failing that, Dark World Death Mountain will be the final destination here, and then he'll realize the Lamp and the Fire Rod are both in Hookshot Cave, and it's like, oh, well, I couldn't do the rest of Tower of Hera before, I can now, let's go back. Very nice decision from Willard here.
Yes.
This is what's nice though, like, we could say, oh, you know, the Fire Rod and the Lamp gave Ben a huge advantage at the time, but then Willard has come up here with more general resources. He can get around this place a lot quicker, and it actually works out in his favor in that way, because unlike Ben's trip, Willard could get things done more efficiently, and Yeah, it's neat always seeing the differences, because there was no way that Ben could go from the Dark World to Tower of Hera because no mirror and no hammer beforehand to try and finish this place. But Willard having all of these things when coming up here, that's what sort of makes the races interesting in the end, because sure, there's a clear advantage at one time, but then going to the same area when you have different resources can produce wildly different results as far as speed goes.
That's true. But I'm thinking Ben might be thinking of trying to do Turtle Rock and then finish off with Tower Hera in his routing.
Yeah, that'd be really good if it's possible.
Yeah, I have a feeling there's something to do with that. Is why he's doing his choices that he's doing right now.
The lag on Willard's screen there.
Now, the book didn't come back to haunt Ben if he missed it in CC House, because we already know the items that the book produced were not the items he needed.
No, Ben hasn't done Thieves Town yet. The book was in the first 4 of Thieves, so...
Yeah, it doesn't come back to haunt him either. Yep.
No, because there was nothing in Ether. It's like a red rupee. So the only way that it could is by the time that Willard goes down to do Skull Woods, he'll be able to check the pedestal. Another good example of Willard's differing items at the time being able to provide advantage of sorts. And if there is the ice rod at the pedestal, which is definitely not out of play until we find it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That could provide a big advantage for Willard just in terms of information gathered. Also, looks like Ben got the right, if you will, gamble during Swamp here, because the big key being Argus, pretty sure Ben didn't check the rest of this place beforehand, so...
Oh, he did not. He went the straight up north path. You're absolutely correct.
So this paid out. And this screen that Willard's in just now is one of the only screens that, no matter what resources you have, is much more annoying when you've got... Light World 2, because there are no enemies up there when you haven't killed ajneb, but as soon as you have, oh man.
Definitely creates traffic.
So I like the way that Willard's doing this here, apart from the fact that he was just at the top of the tower anyway, top of the mountain anyway. This opens up the possibility for him with 2 of the 3 medallions. He might be able to open up to the rock, as he can, of course, because we know he's got Ether. And he can go the reverse way into Super Bunny Cave and get the chest pretty quickly. 5 rupees in the big chest of Swamp, ouch. And also, he's already at the top of the mountain for Hookshot Caves, so this just works out a lot better than going the opposite way around the world, where you'd go from, Dark World from the south side and go that way. This has just worked out a lot nicer.
Yeah, he definitely saves a little bit more time doing it this way than the other way around.
So another super minor thing, I probably would have done Super Bunny Cave first, just so I could have hookshotted across to the thing again. Same sort of thing as what Ben did, where he picked up the rock before going to check to the rock. It's the first time, actually, I think I've seen Hookshot Cave have both fire sources. It's pretty funny. But yeah, I probably would have done it the other way around, just because then, you can dash along the diagonal bit to get into this cave. You could then hookshot to the rock so that you could check the Hookshot Cave then, and then once you come out of that, you're in the right spot immediately to go ahead and it's very, very tiny things, but it's when you get to this sort of level, it's always interesting seeing, just that tiny bit of difference that players make, going comparing it to what you or other people do, and see which way is actually better, because everybody learns at that stage.
Looks like Spike Cave check here, because there's nothing else you can check anymore on this side.
Oh, if Spike Cave has the ice rod.
Oh, the magic powder has been found in Swamp.
That's intriguing. Also, it did look... there was stuff in the basement. I
gotta get that key first. Yeah, exactly. He's like,
Something is strange about this door.
No, I can't pick lock it. Link's not a known thief,
Well, I mean, he does kind of raid people's houses, so maybe there is a bit of thievery in there, just not of that kind. So hopefully the last thing we'll see here is Willard hit the final one of these tiles just before when it starts moving, so that he can get indoor as quick as possible. The other place you would do that is as Ben picks up his book here, going in leaves. The other place you might do that is if you're checking the tile room in Ganon's tower, because with the Wallmaster coming down there, the chest will not appear if the Wallmaster is in play. But if you break the final tile before he comes down, just a heart piece out of here. I guess you could say that is a bit heartbreaking, having wasted so much time there.
That's true. Now, this is going to be interesting, because Ben could check the big chest, whereas Willard didn't get it because he didn't have hammer at the time, too.
Yep. This is another one of those cases of the routing being different just based on what items people have. So...
Well, we're going to see Spike Cave in the meantime to see if this is going to be something important.
I mean, we're only looking for Ice Rod at this point, as far as overall stuff is concerned. Willard still needs Kana Samari.
And it's just bombs. Okay.
Yep. Gotta consider what your next play is at that stage. I would imagine Skullwoods would be relatively high on the list here. And yet, because the mirror is obtained and Aghanim has been killed, maybe Palace of Darkness would be the play then. Yeah, that's actually interesting. I didn't really think about that too much.
Palace of Darkness is definitely a good play, because you're still going to have to find that big key regardless, so you're going to have to look through it anyways.
So, or Catfish, that works too. So, This is one of the things about having not had to kill Aghanim very often in the new Siege due to the darkroom nature of Aga Tower, is that you often forget that if you have the mirror and have killed Aghanim, then you will respawn on top of the pyramid if you save quit anywhere in the Dark World.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's something that people have to get used to.
So that's actually really interesting doing Spike Cave Blaster and then getting on top of the pyramid and going, right, well, I could do Palace of Darkness now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or in this case, Catfish, because it's another place you checked here. Yeah, that is the good question. Will Willard pick up the net that the fish has dropped in? I mean, I know it... Nope! I know it's a bug net, but it's just kind of funny that you get it off of a catfish, right? You normally catch fish in nets as well.
Well, we get 2 net losses today.
Does that make it a net gain for the catfish?
I would say it's a net gain for the catfish then.
Alright, so Willard is going to take the Skullwoods play. I like the way that you did that, though, because when else are you realistically going to check the catfish at this stage?
That's really difficult to say, because I think Willard actually looked the northern side of Dark World already, so there's really no other time I would think he would go do that.
Also, the other interesting play here, this is something that I see a few people go on about, is to do Moth first and then come back for the rest of this. Although I would have checked the chest at the top there as well. I know, it's not just hindsight saying, oh, we know that... Wait, why is Willard not picking up the small key there? Willard, what are you doing?
I think he just forgot.
Willard, please, go back, you need the key. This part only works if you get the key from that chest.
Once again! Poor Willard.
Yeah. So that's fine though. It's not that big a deal going back. You can see he's a little bit stressed with the bonks and such though.
I can tell he's probably thinking, not again.
Yeah, but yeah, I would have checked the chest there, and it's not just saying, oh, hindsight because we know the Kana Samari is there. It's because it's kind of in the way. I don't know, it feels... I mean, when you've got the mirror, you would want to mirror out of that room so that you can, you know, do stuff there. Oh, whoa, where are you going, Willard?
Whoa.
I know he was looking to get the heart in the corner, and I don't think the magic especially, but the hearts he was looking to get through that room because Moth is butt. Even with Red Mail, the spikes still do the harder damage. But yeah, because of having the mirror in this particular situation, I think checking that big key chest and then mirroring out of that room is probably the slightly quicker play compared to doing it on the way out, because now you're going to have to leave that room afterwards, and if you're doing it via the Wall Master, he's going to send you back to the other side of the room. You're going to have to do a couple of transitions again. So...
And we saw the riot shield in the hammer picks section, so Ben opted not to pick it up.
That's interesting considering Turtle Rock is still required, because worst case scenario, the Eye Bridge has a key that you need to finish the dungeon. And even though it's not the end of the world to not have it, it's still, you know, like you can do the dashes, but you may as well just have the shield and make it easier on yourself, right?
Yeah.
Not to mention the mimics in the GT Ascent. The red mimics in the first room especially, you can use the mirror shield to get past them much quicker with the silver arrows. You can just kind of FaceTime that room. So it's interesting to see him not pick it up. I think it would save more time overall in the long run.
And we get a pedestal check? Oh, no. Just a piece of love. Alright. So pedestal not really required, but still pendant dungeon still up in the open here.
Yeah, Willard, don't leave yet. You still have an item to get in this dungeon.
That's right, he just checked in the map. Just be like, yes, I do need an item.
Was about to get his flute out and I was getting scared there.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure this is a place Willard actually hasn't checked yet. Is the cemetery ledge.
Oh, it just has the other shield.
Oh my god, it's a giant rock! It's still useful, actually. Like, I know the mirror shield would have been much better to pick up that way, but it's still useful in the sense that it could block a couple of stray fireballs from some of the stuff in the gauntlet.
Looks like Ben didn't forget to check the checker.
Very nice.
Yeah.
This
Otherwise,
is good.
this would have I think would have ruined the run if he forgot about it.
Yeah, and this is one of the marks of a great player, right? Is when you end up having these loose squares on the board, but you find a good time to go and check them still. And yeah. Go back! Go back!
He realized it. He just realized, he's like, wait.
Like, hang on a sec. Also,
that looks something familiar.
You can despawn the blocks on the outside of that too, actually, as a fail-safe way of getting through too. So, where is Willard going to go now? Wait, where is Willard going to go now? Willard, what are you doing? Willard, please.
I have no idea what Willard's doing either at this moment. It's just like he's...
whatever. Doesn't matter. He just wants to take the scenic route.
I guess so. I know Ben's going for the Desert Palace gamble here. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is why he went around. This is what I thought he might do. Is he might do Desert Palace into. Yeah. So it's pretty good. Like, you may as well just do this whilst you're around. Because it is Green Pendant, and unlike Willard, Ben can actually finish this place. Which is, again, another thing of different resources at different times can speed certain things at certain bits up and slow other bits down, and that's what makes it really interesting.
And I think it makes an interesting play because as he gets this pendant, right, and he makes his way to Pod, he can then drop off the pendant as he gets into Pod.
Yeah, neither player has gone there yet, so having the pendant, and there is a convenient spot you can mirror in the hedge maze to get to Shahabadu. So
I'd say that's a smart routing decision.
Yeah,
for sure.
Just a shame for Willard when he came down here that he wasn't able to do the same thing.
No, I think that fire source caused him a little bit of grief for this one.
So both players are doing pretty decent on dungeon stuff here. Both at 4 crystals, although Ben has done a much longer dungeon, but it has also led to nothing at all. So I imagine Willard is probably going to try and leave that until much later.
Yeah, he might even do Pod first before he does Swamp House.
Yeah, I think at the moment he's just clearing out this area entirely. I'm pretty sure Pegs has not been done yet, so just making absolute sure this area has nothing, which I completely agree with.
Mm-hmm.
There is no reason to have left. It's the only thing I would have done. I mean, unless... Has he done Magic Bat, actually?
No, he hasn't because he doesn't have the powder.
Right, okay, so yeah, but I suppose he doesn't have the powder, so the only thing I'd have done is I might have done this and then gone up to do the top side of the Dark World.
He also
he's
doesn't
done
take
taking
up the
it
red
out of
shield. No, he's like, no.
He's like, hang on a sec, maybe I do actually.
Oh, second guessing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that red shield.
I'm gonna hammer dash into it for 5 points. Meanwhile, there were 3 green moles on green light mole worm things on the field, and now there are not.
And here's that green pendant for Ben.
Yep. Ben just activated a firestorm of butter on them and just completely wiped them out. Absolutely awesome. Yeah, Willard did not do the digging game before, so I say just tying up loose squares. I guess it makes sense then, because he hasn't done the digging game yet. Then it's fine doing like North Dark World mirroring and fluting background for it. It's fair enough.
And here's the pod play that I was thinking that Ben would do, and he's probably gonna drop off the pendant on his way. Yeah.
Oh man, if Sasha has the ice rod, that's gonna be annoying.
Oh yeah.
Because you would imagine that with already getting at least one item out of the desert, that Willard is probably gonna want to do swamp before that.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. And looks like he's doing pod, and then.
Yeah, this is a great play by Willard as well.
Oh no!
Just a hot piece. Okay.
So, passing out on Desert Palace was good.
Yep.
All right.
I hate that bird. Like, I hate all of them, obviously, but that bird in particular is really annoying because it stops you from doing the quote-unquote optimal dashes like Willard was trying to do there. Alright, Kiki the Extortionist coming on through.
Yeah, and looks like both players are going to be in the same dungeon at the same time.
Which is really cool. This is one thing I think, like, I tried to do this in my NNG run as well, but, like, if you're, I think Ben actually didn't do it there, but if you're just dashing, oh, well, I didn't do it either. If you're just dashing through that bit, then when Kiki hits the switch, you're still dashing afterwards.
Yes, you'll still dash all the way through the door, yes.
But that didn't happen when I did it with an NNG because he had text, stupid stuff like that. I don't know if I just did something wrong, but that didn't happen during my NNG stuff, so I don't know. But it works in Randomizer where if you just keep dashing, then you can run through that. But both players actively stop their dash beforehand, which is interesting.
It's like a virtual high five, being in the same dungeon.
Yeah, this race is definitely close at the moment. The biggest difference... Oh, interesting attempted route diversion. Don't know what Willard... I think Willard is just second-guessing what he's going to do there. Yeah, the text will stop your dash in NNG, that's what I thought. But it doesn't in Randomizer, so just keep your dash going.
Yeah.
But I suppose even if, you know, in NNG, it wouldn't even matter, right? Because if you just dash to it anyway, and then it would stop your dash, that most you've got to do is just keep walking. So it doesn't really make sense to, like, pull back on your dash beforehand, at least in my humble opinion. But, you know... It works out fine either way. It's just one of the quirks of a randomizer, taking out the text and taking out like the confirmation prompt of do you really want to spend this money, is that you can keep doing
and GLS makes a good point is because it does make Kiki move slower, and that's why they stopped the dash.
Right, okay.
Yeah, he's absolutely right about that one.
Okay.
Now let's see. What do you think this is going to be? Do you think Ice Rod would possibly be in pod? There is quite a few chests here.
Yeah, it could definitely be here. The pessimist part of me is thinking that it might well be in Mimic Cave again, which would be really bad in terms for Willard here, because then he'll full clear Swamp, which, you know, doesn't really build anything except a fetch quest that will waste more time for him. So, but if it is here, then that means he gets to go mode Swamp, which is something Ben didn't get to do, and that's a pretty decent here. Of course, the other side of that is that if it is here, then Ben gets to do Tower of Hero as his final dungeon, and that will save him a good bit of time as well.
That's true.
Ice Rod, Nice Palace, yep, I have seen that many a time, and that would be really bad at the moment, because that is not a pendant you want to go for. Willard having a bit of trouble in the room here. Interesting strategies you can do in this place. Just punting that block away, channeling his inner Christos here.
Well, now another trolley place would be Meyer.
Yes, it would be, wouldn't it? Because
it's like you wouldn't want to go there. Why would I want to do Meyer?
So, if it came down to Turtle Rock, Maya, or Ice Palace, where would you want to go first for this?
Oh my god. Knowing this version, I'd still kind of do Turtle Rock because it's still kind of quick because I still have to find the I still have to get through most of that dungeon anyways. But then I'll have a quick way to get through it.
Okay.
T-Rock is, yeah.
So...
T-Rock. It looks like Chad agrees.
Yeah. So it's harder maybe than you might think at first, because with Turtle Rock, if you get 3 small keys and the big key in the first 4 chests, then you don't have to check any other chests in that dungeon, including the big chest, which you'd have to go outside for. So it can be substantially faster in Go mode than outside of Go mode. But at the same time, it has the most locations compared to the other 2. Even, I think, combined, the other 2 don't match Turtle Rock because of Mimic Cave.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a 50-50, except with 2 long dungeons compared to just 1 slightly longer one. But it takes ages to get to, whereas the other 2 are really quick to reach. So I don't know. It's the worst. It's the Doomsday scenario, definitely, and this is what Ice Rod does to you. It's a horrible item in Randomizer because it is only needed for exactly one place.
One purpose it serves.
It's just...
It's the one item that can trump all other items.
The Cane of Samari is the only other one that even comes close, and that is still like 3 locations that you need. Well, I say 3, but you need it for all of Turtle Rock. So it locks more items behind it, but it is definitely the closest other one that can be really annoying.
Yeah. So now, the interesting thing is to see what Ben decides to do after this, because he's already done everything else he needs to do.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that Willard took a hit there from the Fireball, because, especially when he's got the Mirror Shield, it's kind of really annoying. But with this, he'll now have to menu to something else from the hammer in order to hit the switch here, which is unfortunate. The whole idea of getting full health before coming down here is that you can just use the sword beam to hit the switch, and you don't have to menu.
Alright, so it's not in pod. We have confirmed that completely. And we know it's not going to be in Double-Chested Fairy because that's really impossible. So it's either in the Pendant Dungeon or it's in T-Rock.
Rough times. So this is one of those things. I don't know if this is necessarily a mark of a good player type of situation for this year. Ben is going to take the chance on
the gamble,
because he hasn't yet done Tower of Horror. So he's going to do that first, and then we'll see if he goes to Turtle Rock. But I don't know if this is one of those situations you could say is a mark of a good player, because it really could be in any of these locations here. Like, there's a statistical chance that that you could weigh up saying, oh, it's more likely to be in Turtle Rock, but realistically, it's just as likely to be in any of the other locations. And you could also make the argument in terms of the Ice Rod locking one location in Turtle Rock. That location could be an item, so it could actually have one less item to find in there. So, I think it's 5 items that are in Turtle Rock, but you might only be able to access 4 of them because Trinex might be holding on to one.
I like the use of the spin speed in the Cannon Cave.
Yeah, every time I tried to do that, it didn't quite work out because for whatever reason the spin speed didn't activate. So it was kind of weird, but it is pretty cool. Because I think I triggered spin speed, and then I used the item, and then the spin speed went away, and I was like, oh, well, okay then. Yeah, so Willard's gonna take the play on Swamp here. This makes the most sense for him.
Yeah, he's probably gonna have to full clear it because that.
And this is the unfortunate thing of Ben has already done that. So like the one dungeon difference between them, the dungeon Ben has to do is way quicker than the one Willard has to do. So that's it's unfortunate that it's come to this basically. So here Ben is using the book everywhere possible in here now.
And I think Ben's also going to have to do the basement here because Willard had to do it, so he might do it as well.
So that, at the very least, might help a tiny bit.
Yep. But still, this is a very close race because after this, it's like they're pretty much even at that point.
Yep. It's a shame in a way because I feel like this and then certain other cases like my match against Wild where the hammer ended up being in Ice Palace, these are situations where no matter how good your reading is, in the end it kind of doesn't matter because like especially if the Ice Rod ends up as the final item on the eye bridge, then I imagine both of these players are probably, unless I mean Willard maybe not, but I imagine like most of the time you are going to not want to check that place until you've checked everywhere else, and that kind of nullifies any sense of like rooting beforehand because, well, if you have to check everything, then really it's just about checking stuff efficiently. But even that, it's like you check everything, then you know what use is the rooting side of it, you know? So it kind of dampens the effect of it quite a lot.
And Ben finally picks up his 6th crystal. So he's going to find out, I'm going to have to check that basement.
Yep. But you can see, like, Ben is already done with his dungeon, even though he's got to go back in and check it. He's already done, and Willard isn't even in the main area. No, he is now. But didn't even hit the main area by the time the crystal landed.
Oh, looks like Ben's not checking. Ben's not going back.
That is interesting, and obviously very good for Ben in this situation, because we know it's just a hot piece there.
Yeah. And with that, wow. Okay, the play on Turtle Rock is real now.
Okay, so let's go and assume that Ice Rod is not in Turtle Rock here. Do you think Ben would go back and check Tower of Hera before leaving the mountain here?
I don't know about that. Maybe. Because he's already here, but who knows? But we shall see. This is going to be very important. I think this is the play. This will definitely be an interesting situation here. Because if it's not here and Willard doesn't decide to go to Turtle Rock, he significantly saved a bit of time.
Yeah, I have the suspicion that Willard will, though, because he might even do Desert first, though, but Green
Desert,
Pendant,
I think Desert might be his first play. Yeah.
But Green Pendant is not in either of the 2 dungeons that he have left, and both of them are really annoying to do, so I have a feeling Willard might even just Hail Mary on Turtle Rock beforehand. Before even doing Desert, because he knows that the Master Sword pedestal is not what he needs. So he might actually just Hail Mary on that. And yeah, it's funny, but you know, like when you think about it in his turn, it's almost like he's going to be treading Ben's mistakes, if you will, if it turns out that it's not here. And it's unfortunate to think of it that way, but that's kind of the way that it is, you know.
He's going to end up having to backtrack because the big key is at Argus, so I don't know if that's going to weigh in on his mind to check that big chest in the end.
It probably will, because there's an item there, and then he'll be frustrated because it's only 5 rupees. I mean, if he's anything like me, then it'd just be like, oh, really? Come on.
Well, all I know is we're not going to get a full HUD here for our tracker because both players denied our net here.
Oh, it looks like there was one item astray in here. So this wouldn't have been the fastest turtle rock regardless, because you would have an extra key at this point if it was the fastest. So this won't necessarily cost quite as much time. If there's a small key in the big key chest, and then the last small key is like at the end of the eye bridge or something, then this will basically be like no different from full clearing the dungeon as he is here. And that would, assuming Ice Rod is not here, that would be a decent advantage for Ben. As it stands, we don't know what Willard's going to do after this, let's be honest.
Yeah, we have no clue what he's going to do. We'll see. Oh,
these players work in mysterious ways. And yeah, just a heart piece there. So there are 2 keys left in this dungeon within the remaining chests.
Yeah.
One of them has to be before the basement area. So it's like a slightly better than 50% chance, I think, that the big chest actually has one. Well, really slightly better than 50% chance that either of the chests have one until you open one, right?
That's true.
But that's going all Schrodinger on this situation, so... Schrodinger's key, which one is it in? It's more likely to be in either of them than it is to just have one key there. Alright, well at the very least, Argus fight should be quite quick. And yeah, a nice, simple Mimic Cave check for Ben here. I had to get Sakura to tell me how this actually properly works in here, because if you're not, if you're moving when you hit the, when you pick the, or pull at the rail, then these guys won't move. Because I never managed to get them to move, and it was weird.
Oh, there it is!
Oh my goodness! I saw that Mimic Cave was something I said at some point, I'm sure.
I know, and there it is. So,
ladies and gentlemen, we have Go Mode.
Yeah, Go Mode indeed.
So, the best hope for Willard at the moment is that he Hail Marys this, and there was a small key in the big chest there too. If he Hail Marys the Turtle Rock here, then that'll be him as close as he can be to this, but it's gonna be difficult. I mean, it could still come down to a GT gamble, but you imagine with Ben already being like like 3/4 of the way through this dungeon, that you've got to think that that's going to be really difficult for Willard to come back from, just because Ben is such an accomplished NNG player anyway.
And I'm wondering if that powder is going to cause Willard to go check Magic Bat.
Oh, that would be nasty, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because he just got it. I don't know if that's going to make him think about going there.
Random aside here, in this basement bit, the right-hand like exit point for the platform there, if you're on single magic and you don't have much of it left, take that exit point there, because the middle part has got full magic in it, so you can have magic for here to use with the thing. Oh, first chest as well. Wow, okay. And Willard, where are you going?
Not sure. Did he not finish something in the Dark World to check the powder? I don't know.
Nice cane dash there. Yep, at this point, this very much is Ben's game to lose. Very good seed this, though. Willard, you've already done the pegs here. What are you doing?
Well, he's making sure he mirrored his way here to get to the powder.
Why?
I'm not really sure. I don't know his decision, but he went around. But we'll see. We'll see. He might have a decision on wanting to be in Dark World. I'm not really sure about it, but we'll see.
As Ben just completely wipes out Trinex there. Yeah, I think that might just be it. It might just be nerves here. And Trinex did have an item, so I was right in saying there was one fewer item at most during this dungeon. So, you know, in this case, I think there were only 4 items you could get in the dungeon. So, you know, just one of those things. Alright, Willard, where are you gonna go?
I think he's weighing on his mind now. Oh, he goes back in the Dark World. There's something he's thinking about.
So what has he missed here then? The chat's already gone past us here.
Oh yeah.
There are like 22 locations.
He's going back to check the big chest.
Oh right, I see. Oh, Okay. I don't blame him for this, really, because I probably would do something similar. Because this point, I mean, I might have even done it earlier than some of this, but this point would have been weighing on my mind for a long time. I do understand this play. Unfortunately, we know that is almost definitely the death knell at this stage, even if because at this stage he's a full dungeon behind as well, and it's looking bleak. But you know what? It technically is not over until it's over. We saw Trinex deaths in the first race, right? So it is possible as Ben is just going straight out right side here.
Yeah.
So I actually I forget who it was that did this before against Willard, but I think it might have been Life actually. But one player actually did say that they went right side because they knew that Willard would go right side, and so any sort of advantage you gain from that has been nullified. So
that was the metagame that New Life had against Willard.
So
that's definitely it.
The mind game type stuff that I don't think Ben's playing on that same sort of level with him, if you will, but it's definitely an interesting play as we find it. Oh,
there's that Quake! And there's that final shield! You have to have a shield, Ben. You can't deny all the shields to the seed.
Aggressive shields! So interesting. This is exactly what I did in my race with Wild, actually, and as it turned out, of course, didn't quite pan out. The big key was actually at Bob's chest. But it's an interesting debate of, do you just follow through there? Because, alright, there are no more chests before you get down to Bob and the Armor Knights, but it's a quicker path to get to them. Right. So if it turns out that the big key is down there, then going right side and committing to right side actually is faster. Also, random fun fact here, you can jump through every single part of that room now, if you really want to. Even getting up to here, you can bomb jump to that. Takes a setup similar to the hammer jump in Palace of Darkness, but you can do it.
So it would either be left side or the tile room now. That's where that big key is at this moment, because we just saw the whole right side clear.
Yep. Oh, if it's in tile room, that's every player's worst dream. And it looks like Willard is now going for the Hail Mary, not going to Desert first. He's going for the all-in play of it is in Turtle Rock. And given that he's already done Desert Palace, like, I don't disagree with this. It's slightly less favored than clearing every other dungeon as far as it, but it's like 9 items or something that every other dungeon would have for you at this point. And, you know, including the green pendant, and this place still has 5 because of Mimic Cave. So, given that it's all in one location, this is still not that bad. Ben start magicianing all the way around here.
Yeah, that's his trademark. He likes to get rid of his excess bombs, usually.
It's got a long way to go before that.
And he gets another bomb!
Got a long way to go before that happens. And it looks like it would have been better to commit to fully going through the right-hand side. Interesting.
Yeah. It works like, yeah, if you fully committed right, because we just found out you didn't have to do any of this left thing here.
Yep. So, not that I'd have beaten Wild anyway with the time difference and stuff off it, but this is basically the same thing that happened in our race, where the big key was down in this bit. Wild just went the default route. I actually went right side because I got 2 small keys in the first couple of chests, and it turned out either way was correct because it was in the middle here. But yeah, this is exactly the same thing that I did. And yeah, it's interesting that if this was a little bit closer and both of them were in GT at the same time, that could have made a massive difference.
Oh yeah.
Dark Magician approves of Ben's bomb usage here.
Oh, most definitely. The best way to take out a bombs is get rid of them. Lay them everywhere. And it's the tile room!
Oh no, it is the tile room! Oh man! Also, Willard needs to be careful here. He is running super low on health. And taking another hit there as well. Be careful, man.
Oh my goodness. And now...
This is not a room that you would ever do until you absolutely have to. There is no blame for this here. So I mentioned this during the Tower of Hero tower room, but you want to kill the last tile here before the Wall Master comes down. So you basically stab it before the thing leaves here. And the reason for that is because then, whilst the Wall Master is falling down, the chest will have appeared, you can pick it up, and you can just keep going. I don't think you want to tank too many of these with your face here, Ben. I know you have a lot of health, but...
Yeah, he's starting to pay attention to this. Alright.
Yeah, so there you go. You see, the chest appeared beforehand, but if that tile was allowed to hit the wall instead, the Wall Master would have come down. And if you don't, until that Wall Master is off the screen, whether you kill it or it leaves the screen itself, the chest will not appear.
Alright.
So now, Willard using Fire Rod strats here instead of the traditional spins. Not too bad. And standard climb here. Now, if you had the Mirror Shield, then you can kind of just rush these guys because you can block the Fireball and then Silver Arrow still kill them in one hit, so... That's why it sort of interested me that Ben decided not to pick the Mirror in the end.
Alright, Willard did not make the mistake of not checking this place.
Yeah, this is...
That would have been the end of everything if he did. Thank God.
Yeah, this, was it Andy, Mike the V is the one that this cost because of the sword upgrade?
That was Andy, yeah.
Yeah.
It was Andy versus Mike the V.
Really, really horrible way to lose this, and there is the Ice Rod. Willard is in go mode. Unfortunately, knowing where the big key is, I am pretty much guaranteeing that that'll be the last place he checks as well. So, yeah, this is looking a little bit bleak at this stage. But, like we said, stranger things can happen.
Go mode emotes in chat, please.
Yeah, now if you did the tile room gamble first, and Willard is still going to have a perfectly good time. Make no mistake with that. This is still a really good time for Willard too. And, these guys have had to full clear basically everything. That... Except Ice Palace and Misery Maya, these guys have cleared every single thing in the world, and that still makes this crazy impressive,
I would have to agree, yeah. The only thing they didn't do is they didn't set foot into Ice Palace or Misery Maya.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they covered pretty much everything else in the overworld.
But yeah, I would not have this time myself. I wouldn't that far behind Willard, I would like to say, because we do races quite a lot and we tend to be at least somewhat close, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have Willard's time right now where he is. So make no mistakes about it, this is just the way it is at the end of the tournament here, where everybody that's left is an absolute monster, and Ben is proving that time and time again here. Very, very good stuff.
Yeah, this is gonna be good. He's definitely using up all his bombs. Gotta make sure you got two here in case this one doesn't work. He's made it.
Yeah, see, this is exactly the chat here with Mimic Cave, Ice Rod, and Tile Room Big Key, and Ben is still going to pretty much sub 135, or get very close to it. Be like the 135. That just shows how good this guy is at this game. That is unbelievably strong as a play, or a player even. Oh, gonna have some ice on the floor.
Yeah.
And not getting the one shot of the gold sword there too. It's kind of annoying, but what can you do?
That's very true.
Yeah, so depending on the Aghanim fight here, this will probably be like a high 135, like low 136, that sort of time, I think.
Oh, I think it was that.
I think that was a triple.
This could be a triple. Almost.
Just missed it. Yeah. Oh no, it was just a double.
No, it's just a double.
Okay. 2-2-2. As Willard picks up his final crystal, so we'll have to see where he goes in Ganon's tower here.
Yeah, it looks like Ben's lead was a full Ganon's tower lead in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. A full clear of Ganon's towers is exactly because right when Willard touches here and the bat hits, that's exactly where Ben's gonna land.
Yep.
So it was a full Ganon tower clear.
And that is quite a big difference, but at the same time, you've just got to think of having the Fire Rod and the Lamp early let Ben do some stuff that Willard didn't. And even though Willard had some advantages later on through the Death Mountain stuff, you've got to imagine that the sheer fact that Ben had those items and could do that earlier, because of how long it takes to go through Death Mountain stuff, that just added a whole bunch of efficiency to his run.
Mm-hmm. We're having a quick Ganon fight here by Ben too, because Buttersword just makes things way easy.
Yeah, in this version with no teleports and whatnot, the Ganon fight with Gold Sword and Silver Arrows literally takes about 2 minutes, maybe less than that. Pretty sure I've done this fight in about 1:30 in this version, so if you get good Silver Arrow hits, and that is already a double to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Only going to be one hit here. No, he's setting us up.
Got it.
Oh, there's the double.
Yeah.
Bang! Alright, so that's impressive. Yeah, 1:30 is about accurate. Yep. If you don't get teleports, it really does go that quickly. And Ben finishing with the official SRL time of 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 28 seconds. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's a great time. And make sure you follow the runners if you haven't yet, chat.
Oh, without a doubt.
Let's see if I put that runner thing in there. There you go.
What a phenomenal time to have here. So it looks like Willard did the left side Starburst room, then doing right side, didn't find a key, so is now going to do left side completely, and then we know it's in the tower room, so it's going to be but, you know, this is an interesting, but like I think statistically this is supposed to be like the most refined route. I've never actually tried to really use it myself. I've used it about twice, and it did work the times I used it. But I always keep thinking, big key in rando room. Maybe it's just because I'm biased from version 6 back when it used to be one of the only rooms it could be in. Because yeah, in like global version 6, not the VT6 here. In the actual version 6 of the randomizer, the big key was only possible in 3 spots, which was in the rando room, the one that Willard's about to go to now, the Bob room, and the Armos 9s. So it was a very easy to pick up thing, and it wasn't actually particularly random, so it got fixed up, and yeah, nowadays it can be anywhere, including the worst room of one of the worst rooms of the game. But, you know, one of the worst rooms of the game if you don't have powder, that's for sure. The tower room is horrifically bad in that case. Alright, are we gonna get Ben in here then? No.
Double check it.
Good, good. I like that for the chat there. Ben speech, I want to know well, randomizer.
We shall see what happens today.
I have done many an interview this tournament by now. He's a fantastic guy, really is. Yeah, so here, yeah, that's the thing with it, is that this race is more or less because Ben didn't want to just advance to the semis because he wanted to play more games, and that's perfectly fine. I definitely agree with that. And yeah, so the Willard was the in line for it, and we got a couple of really cool games out of this. So you know what? I am not complaining in the slightest.
Huh?
Hello there.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Hey, congratulations, man.
Thanks. I'm doing good.
Oh, the ice rod, how it continues to be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I had to do that gamble because Willard would have done it. He had to.
And he did.
And he did, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, So I made a good choice. Nice.
So yeah, the big difference in that sense is, as Willard is still on. Oh, he hasn't actually done right side yet, apparently. Okay. Yeah, that Ganon's Tower key room. I was too many steps ahead. Ganon's Tower big key was just, but the difference was that you had the hammer going into Thieves Town, and Willard didn't. So Willard ended up before. Yeah, he had to go back before going up and taking the risk on Turtle Rock. So that was a big difference. Like, you were already relatively ahead in that place because you'd found it just before that. But even at that was kind of the death knell here, I think. But yeah, what a place for it to be. And you're perfectly right. He did take the gamble on that before doing any pendant dungeons. So very nice. Yeah, right to call that from his play. Oh! Sorry, just he recoiled off of the red beetle into the teleporter, so he has to go. Ouch. Anyway, yeah, how did you find the seed overall then?
It wasn't a bad seed, to be honest. Just a bit early for the end, except that it was a pretty good one.
Yeah, I found it really cool how the hookshot cave had both lamp and fire rod. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, that actually played in a huge role for you this time, Ben. Is Willard didn't go back to get the fire source for quite some time, actually, because he couldn't find Moon Pearl. Because you sequence break to get to the Moon Pearl, he actually waited a bit and did Aghanim first, and then went to get it afterwards.
Yeah, I was thinking, do I do Obo, do I do Zora? I can maybe miss the item on the ledge, but if it's nothing, it's good. If it's something, I know where Flippers is, so
yeah,
it wasn't a big deal. And yeah, Obo, I don't know. That's usually what you do if you don't have 500.
This is what I think of your big key in tile room. I'm gonna use Ether.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah, that is the one spot that you never want to check in this place. Like, I'm pretty sure that if you gave 100 runners the big key in that room, about 90 to 98 of them not actually check that until the very end. Yeah. Because it is just that sort of thing. You do not check that room otherwise. Yeah, so I think in the end it's pretty much you guys did most of the same stuff as you'd expect, because the ice rod, but it was all in entirely different orders. Like I said, you had the hammer going in Feastown. Willard did Darkworld Death Mountain much later, so he had a lot more mobility around there, like the hammer and the mirror, to get places a bit easier. And it's nice seeing subtle advantages to both ways around. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, and it was pretty even, because when you guys got to Palace of Darkness, you guys were both in there at the same time.
Nice.
Yeah, just a different dungeon between you. Sorry, just a different dungeon between you. Like, Willard had done Tower of Terror instead of Swamp, like you had. So slight difference, but the same number of crystals and go dungeon at the same time.
Yeah, when I finished the Overworld, I was like at the Thief, and I was like, okay, I'm going to Pod. And then I was like, wait, I'm just next to Swamp, I can do it. Maybe I should do it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I went back in that, and I went for some more Overworld stuff, I think, with the armor, and then Thief Stone.
Yeah, so the chat is asking about Hera Basement there. What was your thought with that? Were you just hoping that it wasn't there because it was a time save, or was it?
I was totally hoping it wasn't there. I mean, after, what was the last dungeon? I think it was Pod. After Pod, during Pod, actually, I was like, okay, I got my last item in the big chest. What do I do next? And I was like, okay, it's in T-Rock. So yeah, I did that right because it's on the way, but then I went, right away for T-Rock. I did the Overworld stuff also on the way. But yeah, hopefully it wasn't there. That's probably the next thing I would have checked after.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because it was like, while looking at the way you're playing this, I asked the questions, right, assuming that it's not in Turtle Rock, are you going to go back and check that? And that was the question I posed to here at the time. It's like, would you go back and check that?
Yeah, right after.
So is that a move, like the Total Rock Gamble, is that a move you'd have made like every time here, or was it specifically in this case because of who you were playing against?
It was just because it was Willard. Because
Right, okay.
I knew he would do it. I mean, he really had to do it. If he was checking every dungeon, he probably had no advantages.
Yeah.
I think Amazing, I said kind of the same thing. We had the same kind of thing. Like, Ice Rod was in T-Rock, but I didn't do the gamble because I didn't know him that well. And
Okay.
yeah, we just check every dungeon. And then it was actually in T-Rock. And here, well, I was like, okay, it will gamble. So yeah, I had to, because I guess, yeah, I was a bit ahead with execution and stuff like that. So if I do something different, that could cost me a lot.
Yeah,
Cost me
that's...
the race, actually.
Yeah. Quake against the validation chest. I like it.
Yeah.
And Heaver as well, why not? Still has the blue potion from somewhere, so there's not really going to be any problem with magic here, but still funny. You know? Hey, if you're heading out of the tournament, do it in style. That's that's the way it is, right? Ah, fantastic stuff. Alright, so is it you're playing in the next round then? Do you know, or is the match is not concluded yet?
It's not concluded yet. It's Evelash or Pika.
Oh, Pika won the first round of that, right? Yeah, very interesting.
Number 2 tonight, I think. Or tomorrow night. Or tomorrow, I don't know, I can't read.
Yeah, I think it's tomorrow afternoon, I want to say, because it was, what, 12 PM it's on the schedule?
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
Yeah, so that means it'd be like 5 PM in the UK. So, yeah, so it should be middle of, afternoon, evening type time. Should be good. Yeah, the whole PM AM thing is really weird that way, you know. It's like 11 AM is 11 AM in the morning, 12 AM is midnight, which is 11 hours earlier than 11 AM. It's like, why you do this?
I'm always confused with that, so yeah.
See, this is why I like the 24-hour clock, because it just makes it easier for me.
Yeah.
Alright, have you got anything else you want to say, or do you wait for Willard to come in to have some words with him as well? Or?
No, I go because it's pretty warm in my room right now, so I need some air.
Alright. Take care, Ben.
Thanks so much for commentaries, for restricting everything.
Always a pleasure, man.
Have fun. Get a good rest now.
See you next round.
Yep. Right,
yes.
Take care. Alright, so we're just finishing up on Gamified here into phase 3, no teleports here. I've obviously seen now the Andy video and one of his energy runs, he got like 37 teleports in one round or something off of this, but I've had, don't fall off. I've had a round myself where between the 4 hits in the phase 3, we had 20 teleports in the run. That was kind of ridiculous. I didn't even know you could get that, more than 6 or so in one shot, but hey. And then a nice, quick clear here as well from Willard, getting the double hit at the end there. Very, very good. And yeah, good to get the shovel dash on the way through as well.
I think so.
Yeah, there we go. Nice. Finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 12 seconds. GG. That is still a really good time for a seed like this.
Oh yeah, Shovel Dash swag, definitely a great way to go out.
This is the sort of seed where I could see a lot of people not finishing in under 2 hours because of where the ice rod ended up being. So, very, very strong one.
Oh yeah, definitely strong run by both runners. Let's see if Willard wants to stop in, or I don't know, because weekly's coming up.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Is the weekly is coming up in about 8 minutes, so I might have to get in on that real quick. Or at least sign into the room so I can go, right, you're not starting without me. So, I'm actually not sure. Are there any other races for other tournaments coming in here? Just as we get Willard in?
There should be one more later, but for European time, it seems to be the next day.
Okay. Hello, Willard. How are you doing?
Hey, congrats, Willard.
Alright, what are the odds that all the items that I needed were going to just be in the dungeons that I wanted to complete, or had to complete?
Yeah!
How often does that happen?
Right?
Because Kane was in Skull Woods, and then Ice Rod was in T-Rock, and I got so hyped when I saw that Ice Rod. It's like, man, this is it! And I was like, oh wait, no, Ben's really good, so he probably already did this like 10 minutes ago, so...
Yeah, Ben actually kind of metagamed you on that one because he's like, well, Willard is going to do this gamble, so I'm going to do it anyway, and just,
I figured. So he didn't touch either of the pendant dungeons? Either?
No, he didn't. Yeah, we did finish Desert because he did that stuff after going up. Right, so Ben got the Moon Pearl super early because he Fate Flipper to Zora, and then that gave him Fire Rod and Lamp when he first went up the mountain, and then so when he got to Desert, he was able to clear that off. So he'd already done Desert beforehand, and fully finished that before going to Pod and getting Piece of Heart, I believe it was, off of Sasha. So he had Ice Palace and Misery Mire left, and that was it. Other than Telerock. So it's like, well, Willard's going to make this gamble. I'm going up there anyway. We asked him afterwards as well if he'd have done that against anybody else. It's like, no. It's just because Willard you go up there.
I love that. That's awesome.
So there you go. If nothing else, take away from that you forced him to change his play just to sort of match you.
The thing is, like, in my head, I'm just like, right before I was heading to Pod, I was like, I could go mode Pod and Swamp and just bank on Ice Rod being in T-Rock. But then I didn't trust my instincts because, like, it was one of those things where it's like, if it's in Pod or Swamp, I lose. If it's in T-Rock, I have a chance. Because, I didn't know if he was going to gamble on that or not. So, it was fun. And then Tile Room, like, come on, game.
Yeah, I know, really?
Don't kick a man while he's down.
This was the case of, I said, if you gave 100 people that particular setup, then like 90 to 98 of them would not do that until the very end, because why would you? It's such a waste of time,
Did Ben do all of G Tower then, or did he do...
Yes, he did.
So he got there very early, wow.
Yeah, he basically had the full clear of G Tower as the ending thing. When you entered, he was getting to the pyramid. So...
Well... GG. I had fun. Yeah. It was a blast. There's nothing really crazy about this seed other than Ice Rod and Kane being in dungeons. Because it's like, I'm a very overworldy person. I want to shoot for overworld locations. But if I had just done every dungeon as soon as I could do it, it would have been a blowout, maybe. Probably not. It would have been like I would have won by 30 seconds. It would have been a blowout.
I can understand that, yeah. It's tough though, isn't it? Because you always end up wanting to do the dungeons, and then every time in a race that you do the dungeons, the stuff is in the overworld. And you're like, well, if only I'd done more overworld. You can never predict these things, right? So
right. So that's just how it goes. Never lucky.
Yeah.
But either way, I can't wait to go back and watch. Thank you, commentators, tracker, viewers, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for giving me another chance. I'm sorry I couldn't set up a game for you, but we got 100-person weekly going on right now. So
yes, we do.
Yeah.
There's over 100 people in this.
I'm sure some people are like, "Oh, good. I'm glad there's no game 3 because I want to go play in this weekly."
I don't know. I would have sacrificed it for it if it need be. But I'm definitely looking to go into this now. So, yeah, but the best way to go after watching a randomizer tournament is to go play it yourself. So,
So
It's going to be fun. Thank you very
Yeah.
much for the games as well. Though definitely enjoyable to see you here. You going to be doing more of the commentary? Or?
oh heck yeah, dude! I gotta
Dang
get my
right.
boy DT in here. I gotta
Yep.
do commentary with Emma. I got all these matchups that I still have to try and coordinate. So,
Absolutely.
and by matchups, I mean like commentary matchups.
Yeah.
That was the joke, just in case. But yeah, thank you guys again so much. I love you guys. I'm gonna go jump over and do this weekly, which is
All right.
probably not gonna start for another 20 minutes since we have over 100 people. So.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's okay because we need a little bit of time to actually get into the cells anyway. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed yourselves as well, and obviously keep tuned to the Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 channels and Speedruns Live. We occasionally go there because there's so many freaking tournaments going on. But yeah, we've still got plenty of games in this time left to go. There's some really exciting ones coming out too. And yeah, until then, take care.
And if you guys want to take a look at the schedule, I just posted it up so you can see what else is exciting on Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2. So thanks so much for letting us commentate the match. Thank the runners. Make sure you give them a follow again. I'm going to put up their link here. And thank Mika and our tracker once more. And see you guys very soon for your next races. Until then, see you guys next mission. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.